I'm a freelancer. I'm doing the work now. Like, what should I start doing to prepare myself?
Okay, so you want to ask yourself 4 questions because you want to come up with your topic. Once you have your course topic, you are off to the races and you can start thinking about all the other things you want to do to get that course created.
Yeah, so it sounds like this woman is a freelancer, meaning she is helping do work to get people results. So she's trading her time to do work for other people. And now she's like, okay, how do I teach that to other people so that they can get that result for themselves? This is very common. A lot of people come into online courses from this space of like, how do I get leverage on my time by not trading time for money and just teaching what I know instead? And Porterfield's response is like, okay, so you need your course topic, and here's 4 questions to ask to get to your course topic. Absolutely, you need your course topic. Let's see if these 4 things are, I guess, sufficient in determining that next step.
So number 1, you're going to look at your area of expertise. What do you know? Where have you gotten results professionally and in your personal life?
So super duper important when you come from this place of confidence because you have the evidence of getting results either for yourself or other people. It's easier to get momentum. It's easier to get things going, especially if you've never taught online before or had this kind of business model. So leaning on your strength of like what you're good at and you can create for people, like a must.
Number 2, you want to think about those that you want to serve. Who might you want to help and add value to? Those are the first 2 quadrants.
Yeah, so definitely ideal client, really important to knowing your course topic. Most people would say that's niche, is like, who do you serve and how do you serve them? And so in order to have a course topic, yes, you need a niche. And I'd say both of those things fall into niche. And that's because to just have one but not the other doesn't get specific enough. So if you say like, I am in the gardening niche, okay, but like that's a million things. I cannot refer you if you are just a gardening teacher. If you add on the other element, which is ideal client, like I'm a gardening coach for people who live in the desert. It's like, oh, okay. Now that's specific enough. You could even go deeper and say for, moms who live in Arizona who want to teach their kids gardening, like super specific.
4. So the 3rd quadrant is, are people spending money and have an interest in this area already? The 4th.
Yeah. So I'll pause there because that's actually very important. Most of the mentors I've ever worked with say, if you have an idea that no one is doing, that's a big red flag, because in today's world, if like someone's tried it and it hasn't worked out, which is why you're not seeing it. So again, you want to have some evidence from the market that this kind of offer is working and people are paying for it.
The final quadrant is what lights you up. We're not going to create a course on something that you don't love to teach, because if it's in a course, you're going to talk about it a lot. So it's got to feel good to you in order for you to create it, because it's not the easiest thing. You're not going to do this overnight. So you've got to have that fortitude to want to keep going even when it gets tough.
Yeah, so I think that's very important too, because as she says, you're not going to do this overnight. Like, it does take time to build a course, one, but then to continue with a course creator model, you have to be present wherever you're generating leads and always be talking about your thing. I mean, sure, there's subtopics underneath your thing, but at the end of the day, like, you're talking about your thing all day long. So it's really important to fall in love with, or I guess to be in love with what you're teaching. But I would add on to that you want to be in love with who you're teaching it to. And I learned this from Tony Robbins, right? He's like, stop falling in love with your product. Stop falling in love with your offer. Stop falling in love with your business. Be in love with your ideal client. And if you come from that space of contribution, it will always work out, right? Because at the end of the day, business is a spiritual game. And so I think she's right on the mark. Like, you got to love what you're talking about, because you're going to be talking about it for a long time, but you also really want to be in love with who you're teaching it to. So if I go back to gardening, like, let's say, helping helping moms who want to teach their kids gardening is a really popular niche, and you're seeing that people are like doing well with it, and you know that there's a market demand for it in whatever way you can see that, but you really just don't like kids, maybe don't do that topic because you're going to be working with moms, right? So it's about, I think it's about balancing all four of these things to really come to that topic. And the way you could do that is you could go back through, you could listen to these four and say like, how strongly do I feel about this on 1 to 10? And if you're not feeling super strong about it, then make a tweak in that quadrant.